Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California weather-wise. Today is November 23rd, and what we're looking at here is night microphysics on the GOES 18 satellite imagery. It allows you to kind of see that fog in some of the San Joaquin up into the Sacramento Valley, the Bay Area, fairly well socked in here this morning. You can see we don't have much of a marine layer towards Southern California also, and you can see the system continuing to spin across portions of Arizona. Some light precipitation just trying to brush very extreme portions of California there, right along the Arizona border and same to Nevada. But this system is continuing off out of the east. No impact here for California on in through the next few days. So we're going to take a look at the extended forecast coming up here. We'll try to pinpoint when some precipitation might return and what kind of weather we're going to have to deal with in the meantime here as well. And taking a look at the moderate sneaker wave risk, this is issued a couple days ago, but it goes all the way on in through today and on in through tomorrow. So do be prepared if you go out to the coastal areas. Don't turn your back on the ocean. Those sneaker waves are still active. And we got the dense fog advisories out there as well as Sacramento, Fairfield, Stockton, and Modesto, for example. Some widespread areas in that fog that I showed you on the infrared satellite imagery of less than a quarter mile. So do be careful. Use your low beams. And you can see that beach hazard statements all the way up and down the coastline to the Bay Area, Monterey Bay. And we have some high surf advisories still in effect for portions of Southern California, but you can see some breaking waves 13 to 18 feet. So again, watch out if you're going to the coast. And I talked about this yesterday, but this is percent of average precipitation here. And I'll try to update that. We're still looking through November 21st, but you can see we've gotten some very beneficial rainfall across much of the state of California. Virtually the entire state over the last 30 days has been above normal. Some areas substantially above normal. Now, taking a look at what is going on out there, you can see that upper level low that we've had with us here for the last few days. And then we scroll on in towards the early portion of next week, get this ridging here developing. So we're going to get a break from some of the weather and we're going to get some offshore winds, but nothing too extreme coming up. But then we kind of look off for the future. And the European artificial intelligence actually has this kind of an upper level low start to cut off right as we go through the weekend. And it does get cut off there and becomes a closed low right off of Southern California. That could bring some precipitation here as we go to the very end of next weekend and maybe on into the early portion of the following week there. So we'll watch that one. And then we've got kind of an interesting pattern change that starts to show up here as we go on into the first week of December. This trough, as you can see, digging down the west coast of North America would start to bring some more impactful weather back into the state of California. So hopefully we don't have to go too long before we can kind of keep that rainfall going across the state. Now, if we take a look here on the artificial intelligence, let's scroll all the way on in through the following weekend and towards the early portion of next week. You see some of that precipitation trying to make its way out of the south. And you got to watch those upper level lows. It's going to change a few times as we go through the next few days as well. So that's just the first chance at some precipitation returning to the area. And then the deeper trough starts to roll in here at the end of the run. More potent frontal systems, maybe some atmospheric rivers as we go through the first week of December. No promises right now. We're looking way off into fantasy land a little bit there. And if we look here in the meantime, we've got some decent weather coming up. We got some offshore flow at times as we go towards next week. Thanksgiving weekend, still some Thanksgiving week, excuse me, and towards the end of the week, you can still see some offshore flow ongoing here as we go on in through Friday and potentially on into the following weekend there as that upper level low starts to try to move down the coastline. We'll see how that goes. Now, daily 2 meter max temperatures, fairly comfortable here across much of California as you go through the day today. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Warm up a bit here across Southern California. Look at Los Angeles, some 70s, mid 70s showing up there. Same thing for San Diego and some of the desert areas into the nice 70s. The Sacramento, San Joaquin Valley, generally in towards 60 degrees or so. The Bay Area, low 60s also. Then we go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and kind of cool things down a little bit more as we go towards the end of the month there. You can kind of see the temperatures drop off a bit. And we'll continue to watch that here as we go day by day. And if we take a look at the flip side on that, the daily 2 meter min temperatures, you can see as you go across the higher terrain, it is chilly this time of year. So if you're heading out there to go look off in the backcountry and some of the higher foothill areas and some of the mountains of the Sierra Nevada, it does get chillier at this time of year, of course. And we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then we cool down a little bit as it shows again next week. But again, we'll watch that as we go. Now, take a look at the Patreon page if you like as well. I do put all my daily updates on here, and it does a better job at notifying you when these updates come out. Sometimes YouTube is hit and miss, and I get a lot of comments that people don't really get some of the updates on YouTube. So Patreon's a good way to do that. And if you want to throw in your hard-earned money towards the channel, probably the best way to do it is via Patreon also. So one last look here at the Doppler radar. This is just kind of noise. That's no precipitation there, kind of picking up maybe some of the fog out there, or whatever. It could be insects and things like that as well, dust in the atmosphere. And these Doppler radars pick up all kinds of strange stuff. And you can see that precipitation kind of just clipping portions of Nevada. That's wrapping up as we speak right now. So anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next forecast.